You know what this is? It's a one-off prompt. This is called re-explaining yourself to someone with amnesia. Every single chat, every single session, you type, here's my brand, here's my audience, here's what I need. And then AI forgets it the moment you close the tab. Here's what I'm going to show you today. We're going to build actual AI workers, not chat sessions, not prompts, workers. Persistent, specialized, context-aware assistants that know your brand, hold your documents, follow your rules, and hand off to one another. And by the end of this video, one of them is going to generate a real deployable web page from scratch. Let's go. Before we build anything, I want to make sure we're all clear on the actual problem. Because a lot of people think the answer to better AI output is just a better prompt. And it's not. It's better structure. Here's the difference. With basic prompting, every conversation is stateless. The AI knows nothing about you, nothing about your business, nothing about what good looks like for your specific situation. So you spend half of your prompt just rebuilding the context before you can even ask an actual question. Sound familiar? That prompt isn't a question. It's onboarding. You're onboarding the AI every single time. And even after all that setup, the outputs are still generic because the AI has no real depth on your world. It's working from a one-paragraph summary you typed in 5 minutes ago. Now, here's what changes when you switch to a project-based worker model. A digital worker is a scoped AI instance. Think of it like a job role you've actually filled. It has a defined function, it has access to real documents, your style guides, your past content, your audience research, and it has behavioral rules. And every conversation you have with it builds on that foundation. You're not onboarding it every time. It already knows. You just give it the task. Today we're building 3 workers, one in Gemini, one in Claude, and then we're going to use Claude Code as the third worker that takes the content output and turns it into a web page. Let me show you how each one gets set up. Gemini's version of this is called a gem. It's a customized version of Gemini that you've given a specific role, a set of instructions, and a knowledge base. Once it's saved, you access it from the left sidebar anytime. No reprompting, no setup. It just knows. Let's build one. We're in Gemini, and over here on the left sidebar, you'll see Explore Gems. Click that and hit New Gem in the top right. This is your gem editor, and there are 3 main areas: the name, the instructions, and the knowledge section. Let's go in order. So step 1, we have to name it like a job title. The name matters more than you think. Don't call this My Helper or Writing Gem. Give it a proper job title, the same way you'd name a role that you were hiring for. We're going to call this one Brand Content Strategist, and we're for Meridian Attitude Coffee. Meridian Attitude Coffee is our fictional brand for today. A specialty coffee company, and it has a warm and confident tone, and the audience is urban coffee enthusiasts 25 to 40. I've pre-built the documents we'll upload. You'll replace these with your own real brand files. Okay, so step 2, we're going to write the instructions. This is the job description. This is where most people go wrong. They either write 2 sentences or they write a wall of text. Here's the structure that actually works. We're typing this into the instructions box. You're a brand content strategist for the Meridian Attitude Coffee Company, a specialty coffee brand known for its warm, knowledgeable, and unpretentious tone. Your job is to help plan, draft, and refine content that speaks to our audience of specialty coffee enthusiasts aged 25 to 40. Then we'll add behavior rules. Always reference the uploaded brand voice doc before generating any copy. When asked to draft content, first confirm the format, the goal, and the distribution channel. Never use corporate filler language, no leverage, synergy, or circle back. And if a request conflicts with our brand positioning, flag it before proceeding. Don't just comply. Then output these defaults. Lead with a brief rationale, then a deliverable. Use the tone and vocabulary from our brand voice document. When writing long-form content, follow the structure from the content template file. So notice what's in there. There's a clear role, named behavioral rules, things it should always do and things it should never do, and output defaults. You don't have to specify format every single time. The last section flags conflicts before complying, and that's the one part that most people skip. It's what separates sycophant AI from one that actually acts like a professional. Okay, one shortcut Gemini gives you. If you can type the rough one-sentence goal, you can click the sparkle icon right here, and Gemini will expand into structured instructions for you. Review and edit what it produces. Don't take it verbatim, but it's a great starting point if you're staring at a blank box. Right? You can always revise it later. Okay, step 3. What we need to do is build the knowledge base. Here's where the worker gets smart. Under knowledge, you can upload files directly from your device or pull them in from Google Drive. And this is important. If you're working from a Google Drive, your Gem maintains a live link to those documents. When you update the file in the drive, the Gem automatically sees the updated version, no re-uploading. Let's walk through what I'm uploading and why each one matters. File 1 is the brand voice guide. This is a 2-page document covering our tone, vocabulary, and what we never sound like. Okay, it's short and focused. A 40-page brand Bible is actually less useful here than a tight, scannable reference. Okay, file 2, we have audience personas. In this case, we're going to have 3 personas. Marcus, the weekend home brewer, Priya, the daily commuter who's serious about her pour over, and finally, Hal. The Gem writes the copy and relates it to those persona profiles without guessing. File 3, content samples. So in this case, we're going to take our top 5 blog posts and upload those. Okay. File 4, a content brief template. So it's a structured template for briefs. Now, when you ask the Gem to generate a brief, it fills in your template instead of inventing its own format. And then finally, File 5, a competitor positioning summary, a one-pager on what our 3 main competitors own in terms of messaging. So the Gem knows what territory is already taken and where it can find gaps that we can use. Okay, we've got 5 documents. They're clean, labeled, focused. Each one does a specific job, and that's your worker's onboarding packet. From this point on, it carries all of this with it into every conversation. Hit save, your Gem is live. Now let's take a look at a live demo and see our Gem in action. Let's give it a real task. We're asking it, I need a content brief for a YouTube video targeting Marcus, the home brewer persona. The video is about dialing in grind size for a V60. The goal is to drive subscribers to our newsletter. Look at that. It's opened with a rationale. It's referenced Marcus by name for our persona document. It's used our brief and template structure. And I didn't have to tell it to do any of those things in a prompt. It knew because the knowledge base told it. Now watch the same question in a blank Gemini chat with no setup. Same model and completely different result. The only difference is the structure and the context, but that's the whole game. Part three, building the same worker in Claude. Now, let's do the same thing in Claude. The concept is identical. We're building a dedicated worker with a knowledge base and custom instructions. But Claude has two things that makes its projects feel different in practice. First, Claude Projects maintains your conversational history across sessions within that project. So the worker doesn't just remember your documents, it can reference what you discussed last Tuesday. Second, Claude has a feature called Skills, which we'll get into in a minute, and it changes how you'll think about the output package entirely. Head to Claude. On the left sidebar, click Projects and then New Project. Name it the same way we named a gem. Use a job title and not a generic label. Brand Content Strategist, Meridian Attitude Coffee. Now, let's go in and write Claude's project instructions. Claude's instructions field works the same way as in Gemini's, but Claude responds especially well to a few things. We're writing, you're a brand content strategist for Meridian Coffee Company. You have worked with this brand for 2 years. You know the voice, the audience, the competitors, and what makes content perform for us. You're not a generic assistant, you're a specialist with institutional knowledge. Then, responsibilities. Plan and brief content across video, email, and social formats. Draft and refine copy that matches the Meridian attitude voice exactly. Catch anything that sounds off brand before it goes anywhere. Then, how you work. When asked for a deliverable, confirm the format and channel first, unless both are clearly stated. Structure all responses. Rationale, then deliverable, then notes or flags. Use markdown formatting for all structured outputs. If you're unsure whether something fits our brand, say so, flag it, don't guess, and don't just comply. And also we add what you never do. So never generate generic, could be any brand copy. Don't use passive voice unless it's specific, and always use the tactics document for the right positioning. A few things I wanted to point out: that you've worked for 2 years, part of the brand, right? That gives you strong, confident output. That 3-part structure, rationale, deliverable, notes, that's going to help out with your instructions and get consistent formatting without asking it every time. Next, we're going to upload the knowledge base in Claude. So Claude Projects accepts PDF, docx, CSV, text, HTML, and several other formats. Individual files can reach 30 meg, and you can upload as many as fit within the project's context window. We're uploading the same 5 files we used for the gems, so the brand voice guide, personas, the content sample, the brief template, and the competitor summary. This knowledge base allows Claude to retain and use this content across all chats in the project window without you having to re-upload or re-explain anything. And they sit right here in the project sidebar, always available, always in scope. Now we're going to talk about Claude skills. Now here's where Claude has something Gemini doesn't have yet: skills. Think of skills as your workers' power tools. The project is their office. Skills are the specialized equipment they pick up when they need to do a specific type of work. Skills are pre-built capabilities that you can attach to a project that handle particular output tasks, packaging content into structured formats, compiling research into reports, and generating social post suites from a brief. For our content strategist worker, let's attach the content packaging skill. Watch what happens when I ask it to take the brief we generated in Gemini and package it into a full content suite. We're asking, use this brief, generate the complete content package, a 400-word script outline, 3 Instagram captions for teaser posts, and a subject line plus preview text for an email newsletter promotion. Use the Meridian attitude voice throughout. 1 prompt, 3 deliverables, all on brand, all formatted correctly, all ready to hand to whoever's producing the actual content. That's a skill doing what it's built for. It's not just generating text, it's packaging it into the exact shapes you need. Part 4. Now we're going to take a look at Claude Code, turning the project output into a web page. All right, this is the part you've been waiting for. We've built a Gemini worker, and we've built a Claude worker. Now we're going to use a third worker, Claude Code, to take the output from our content project and turn it into an actual web page. Deployed HTML in the browser from scratch. Here's the workflow. The Content Strategist project generated a landing page brief for the Meridian Attitude coffee product launch, the new single origin Ethiopian pour over. That brief has everything: a headline, subline, 3 feature benefit points, a testimonial, call to action, all on brand. Now, Claude Code picks that up and builds the page. As Claude Code works away, let's talk a little bit about Claude Code. Quick context for anyone who's new to it. Claude Code is a command line tool. You run it in your terminal and it operates directly on your local files. It can read documents, write code, run commands, and iterate through its own output. It's not a chat window. It's a working code environment with an AI that can see and manipulate your actual project files. Okay, now let's do the handoff to Claude Code. Finally, I've got the landing page brief saved as a text file. All right, and we saved it as Meridian launch brief text. I'm going to pass this to Claude Code with a build instruction. We're telling it, read the Meridian launch brief text, generate a single page HTML landing page for the Meridian Ethiopian pour over launch. Requirements: create a hero section with a headline and subheadline from the brief. Have 3 feature benefit blocks using the benefit points from the brief, 1 social proof, and a testimonial section. Add a clear CTA button. Use a clean, modern design, cream and deep brown color palette to match the Meridian brand. Use a fully self-contained CSS and use Google Fonts. Okay, and then it outputs 1 file. Let's watch it work. It's reading the brief first, and you can see it pulling the headline copy, benefit language, the testimonial text. Now it's building the HTML structure, writing the CSS, and checking its own color choices against the brief's brand notes, which include our teal and cream color. Okay, the file's generated. Let's open it. Okay, there it is. In a real browser, real web page, you've got the hero section, headline, subheadline, pulled directly from the brief. We've got 3 feature blocks, exact benefit copy. So our strategist worker has put together excellent content, and Claude Code has picked it up. Now this is a production ready page, and it's ready to launch once we upload it. Okay, so this isn't a wireframe. It's not a sketch. It's a rendered page that is ready to go. And our AI worker wrote it in our brand voice, and it came together in about 5 minutes. Okay, now for the next step. This is our iteration loop. Claude Code doesn't just generate and stop. Let's say the CTA button needs to stand out more. We tell it the CTA button is too subtle, make it high contrast, use a deep espresso brown color with cream text, increase the padding, add a subtle box shadow to lift it off the page. Okay, and voila, it changed exactly what I asked. It didn't rebuild the whole page. It read what was there, found the right element, and made that surgical edit. That's what makes Claude Code different from just generating code in a chat window. It's operating on the actual file, not producing text that you've just copy pasted in. Let's look at the bigger picture. When do workers hand off to digital workers? Let me zoom out for a second because I think the most important thing that just happened isn't the web page, right? It's the handoff. Think about what we built. The Gemini Gem created the initial content brief. It drew on the brand voice doc, the persona profiles, and the content templates, all of it stored in its knowledge base. That brief went into Claude Project, where the content strategist worker packaged it into a full content suite: script outline, social captions, email copy, landing page brief. Then Claude Code took that landing page brief and generated a deployable web page. 3 workers, 3 specialized functions. No generalist doing everything mediocrely. Okay, each worker is doing one thing well and handing the output to the next one. That's the model. And once it's set up, you're not prompting anymore, you're directing. So, what are some best practices and what are some things to avoid? Let me give you the things that I've learned from actually building and maintaining these workers over time. 3 things make a big difference. 1, name your workers like job titles. It sounds small, but it changes how you interact with them and how they respond. Marketing Gem is vague. Email campaign writer, B2B SaaS is a specialist. 2, keep your knowledge-based documents clean and focused. One tight, well-labeled 2-page brand voice doc is more useful than a 40-page PDF that covers everything, and it's easy for no one to navigate, including the AI. Break it up, label it clearly. 3, update the knowledge base regularly. Stale documents produce stale output. If your brand voice evolves, if you launch a new product line, if your audience research changes, your workers need to know. It's only as current as the files you give it. Now, 3 things to stop doing. 1, don't use one project for everything. Use one project for content strategy, a separate one for research, another for your email sequences. Think specialists, not generalists. 2, don't treat your first output as the final output. Your workers get better through iteration. Run the same task a few times with small instructional adjustments until the outputs are consistently exactly what you need. Then it's basically automatic. 3, don't make your instructions a wall of text. If your system prompt is 2,000 words, you've lost the structure. Clarity beats comprehensiveness. If an instruction doesn't change the output, it doesn't belong there. You now have the full blueprint. A Gemini Gem with your brand knowledge, your personas, and your templates. Ready to brief any content at any time. A Claude project with a skills-equipped worker that packages those briefs into complete channel-ready content suites. And Claude Code workflow that takes the landing page brief and produces real deployable web pages. The bottleneck in your content operation is never ideas. It is the setup, context switching, and starting from scratch every single time. Projects and gems eliminate that. Your workers carry the context. You bring the task. What's the first worker you're going to build? Content strategist, research analyst, email writer, social media manager? Tell me what role you're filling first. Then add your documents. The brand voice doc, persona template, the brief format. Adapt it to your brand, and you can have your first worker live today. This is Frank from Obelisk. Go ahead and start building your digital workforce. Get your copy of the AI Automation Handbook. Click the link in the description below.